To Jefferson County, prominent Colorado animal rights lawyer Jennifer Emmy has pleaded guilty. She attempted to hire a hitman to murder her husband's girlfriend. Today, she was sentenced to 10 years in prison. CBS 4 investigator Brian Moss first broke the story of her arrest back in February. Prosecution said on top of trying to find a hitman, Emmy also threatened her husband with a knife and strangled her child. Emmy's defense said she was struggling with mental health and an autoimmune disease that changed her demeanor. Emmy pleaded with the judge today for probation.
I've never wanted to kill anyone. I'm not capable of such a thing. I said and did things that were completely out of character, and I'm so embarrassed about them. I was emotional, I was irrational, and I did solicit to get rid of Karen.
I do note that you've had 7 months in jail. The suggestion that that's sufficient punishment for the serious allegations and the months of criminal activity misguided and misstated were not subject to rehabilitation, nor would you be a good candidate on probation.
Emmy will spend more than 9 years in the Department of Corrections. New information right now about what's going on at the Mesa County Clerk's office. The Colorado Secretary of State's office confirms images from election equipment hard drives were released to conspiracy theorists. So far, it appears those images have copies of election management software that runs the voting equipment. Secretary of State confirms that Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters accessed the secure equipment room with an employee and another person who was not authorized outside of normal hours on the same day that one of the images was taken. The equipment has been decertified. The investigation continues. Colorado students are heading back to school over the next few weeks. A few minutes ago, the Jeffco School District announced it is requiring masks for all students, pre-K through the 12th grade. Wear masks regardless of vaccination status starting tomorrow. Now, Douglas County and Littleton schools are the only two districts on the Front Range not requiring masks for students 11 and younger. And at this hour, the Tri-County Health Department is considering a mask mandate for Adams, Arapahoe, and Douglas County schools. The Tri-County Health Board could decide to require masks only in schools where those age 11 and under are present, or it could be a universal requirement for all schools. Douglas County has negotiated the right to opt out of any public health codes if it chooses.
But right now, a decision about masking kids at all under 12 without seeing any severity metrics, I mean hospitalizations and deaths, really seems premature.
10,000 people sent their comments to the Tri-County Board of Health. 2,000 asked to speak at tonight's hearing. It's not clear when a mass decision will come down. Denver public school students head back next week, and some kids may find their school buses running a little bit behind schedule. CBS 4's Kelly Worthman is live right now, and the district is short double the amount of bus drivers as usual.
Well, Alan, DPS is calling this bus driver shortage, I should say, a potentially critical situation. They're down several dozen bus drivers, and they fear it could get worse. As Denver kids get ready for their first day of school, Denver Public Schools is working overtime to hire bus drivers to get students to class.
It's an ongoing challenge, but a challenge that's getting worse.
While it's not unusual for DPS to be short around 20 or so drivers at the start of the year, this year it's down at least 50 drivers.
In an ideal world, I think we'd like to be, probably 80 to 90 drivers over where we are right now.
The district is offering hiring incentives and considering increasing driver wages. There's concern, however, the city's vaccine mandate for DPS employees could make it even tougher to fill those open seats.
On the other side, to the extent that the vaccines mean that our drivers are able to keep coming to work every day, then that helps us deliver our services in a more consistent way.
DPS is not alone in this dilemma. Last month, Jeffco Schools told us their driver shortage will take some bus routes temporarily off the map.
Buses are not going to pass through some of those areas that they usually do.
So far, Denver does not need to cut back on service, and it plans to keep it that way.
Our goal is to not reduce services, and we are going to do everything possible to be in that place.
So Jim Carpenter there, he is the Deputy Superintendent of Operations, and he says among the incentives that they're offering new hires is a $1,500 signing bonus, which bumps up to $2,000 if you already have your commercial driver's license. So if you're interested in applying to become a bus driver for DPS, we have a link to apply over at cbsdenver.com. Reporting live in Denver, Kelly Worthman covering Colorado First.
Kelly, thanks a lot. Just ahead at 6 tonight, a Veterans Memorial damaged by vandals. The Colorado Park that now needs to be cleaned up. And how more Colorado leaders are hoping to fix mudslide-riddled I-70.